episode of Throwing It Back to Sean Farrell. I am Sean Farrell. God is great all the time. All the time, God is great. Jesus Christ died and he rose again. Let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so the first thing we're going to talk about is whether the 2006 NBA Finals rigged. Okay. Mark Cuban seems to think so that the 2006 NBA Finals were rigged, but Dirk Nowitzki doesn't quite see it that way. Okay, so the Mavericks won the first two games. Okay, Mavericks won the first two games, but I think where the Mavericks kind of lost the series, they kind of where they lost the series was they were up 13 late in the fourth quarter. They were up 89 to 76. Yeah. They were up 89 to 76. And that's when Dwayne Wade went off. Dwayne Wade went off. Gary Payton hit the game-winning shot. Okay. And Dwayne Wade made the game-saving play when the Mavericks tried an alley-oop. And Dwayne Wade deflected it over to James Posey. And just like that, the Heat were back in the series and they won 4 straight. Okay. Mark Cuban seems to think it was rigged though. Okay. Primarily because Mark Cuban says Wade shot 97 free throws. Wade shot 97 free throws in the NBA Finals. And Dwayne Wade, according to Mark Cuban, Dwayne Wade shot 73 free throws in the final 4 games of the series. 73 free throws in the final 4 games. Think about that for over a second. All right? 73 free throws in 4 games. Dirk Nowitzki averaged 22, averaged nearly 23 points and 11 rebounds per game that series. Dirk says it wasn't rigged. He says, honestly, a lot has been talked about there, and I'm going to kind of leave that stuff in the past. We made some mistakes. I think we were inexperienced at times. We were up 2-0 and had a huge lead in Game 3, but couldn't close it out. Again, they led 89 to 76 late into the fourth quarter with 6 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Then Dwayne Wade. So Payton hit the game-winning shot with Payton hit the game winner. Dwayne Wade finished the game with 42 points and 13 rebounds. Okay, which turned the series in Miami's favor. And I think it was either Game 4 or Game 5 where Josh Howard inexplicably called time out. Okay. Yeah, I can't remember it was Game 4 or Game 5, but it was a crucial situation where Josh Howard inexplicably called time out. That helped the Miami Heat. Okay. So, yeah. I think it was Game 5. Because they got blown out in Game 4. Yeah. Dallas got blown out in Game 4. Yeah. So, Howard made a mistake in Game 5 by calling time out during a crucial situation. Dirk also went on to say, honestly, I think it was in our hands. I was the finisher and closer that I was a few years later, and I missed a big free throw in Game 3. I remember I missed a free throw that could have tied the game at 97. Too easy to make excuses now. I feel like we had enough chances. If you're up 2-0, you should be able to close the series out. Okay. So, Mark Cuban thinks the series was rigged. Dirk Nowitzki doesn't see it that way. But, oh, man. We all remember what happened in 2011, right? Little JJ Barea. JJ Barea. Yeah. Um, and actually, I think this Mavericks won the series in 2011 when they were down 15 in Game 2. Came back from a 15-point deficit to win. And, oh, somebody hit the game winner. Ooh, who hit the game winner in Game 4? Because Miami won Game 3. Trying to think who hit the game winner in Game 4. It might have been either Jason Terry. I think it was Jason Terry. And you remember when Jason Terry hit the comment, can't guard him for all 6 games? You remember when Jason Terry made that comment about how LeBron can't guard him for all 6 games? Yeah, and Deshaun Stevenson was the ultimate LeBron troll, so to speak. He was on that 2011 team. He was on that 2011 Mavericks team that beat the Miami Heat, and boy, I cannot remember the whole country. I cannot remember the whole country of the USA being so happy that the Miami Heat lost. Including myself, okay? The whole country rejoiced that the Miami Heat lost, but I think they were even more happy that LeBron lost. You know what I'm saying? They were happy the Heat lost, but they were overjoyed that LeBron lost, okay? They were overjoyed that LeBron lost, and I know Cleveland Cavalier fans were very happy to say it at least. Anyway, so okay, so Chuck Person and Larry Bird had a rivalry going on, and it started the first game that he played. Okay, the first game they ever played against each other. Chuck Person had the ball. And Larry Bird, being Larry Bird, saying, "Come on, rookie, shoot it, rookie." And Chuck Person was like, "Okay," and it went in. Okay, and then as they were running back down court, he told Larry Bird and said, "Don't you ever tell me not to shoot it again." Okay, and that's where the whole rivalry started. Okay, and it kind of boiled over during the 1991 playoffs when the Pacers extended the Celtics to 5 games. Yeah. I love the Larry Bird Chuck Person rivalry because the Celtics are always won. Because the Celtics are always won. Okay. So D Brown had this to say on the Bird Person rivalry. Okay, he said, and this is, and he's talking about the 1991 series in particular. He said, Chuck and Reggie were coming up. Okay, they're like, okay, we're taking over. Now we're the new team in the East. The Pacers were claiming to be the new team in the East. Okay. Larry was like, listen, I'm going to tell you this. I'm the baddest man to come out of Indiana. Like you're just holding place right now. He's like, you're going to come to my house and you're going to mow my high grass. If we win in the series. The Celtics won the series 3 games to 2. D Brown went on to say, I think Chuck's like, yeah, man, we ain't losing the series. We won the series. I don't know if he ever paid his dues and came forward and mowed the grass. That was typical Larry Bird trash talk, okay? challenging Chuck Person. If we win this series, you're going to come to my house and mow my lawn. That's when the NBA was really in its heyday. That's when the NBA was really in its heyday. Okay, and these former NBA players, they have some of the best stories. They have some of the best stories. Okay. Speaking of Chuck Person, so the Bulls were playing the Pacers in 1991. Okay, Bulls were playing the Pacers in the 1991 regular season at Chicago Stadium. Will Purdue's going to the hole. He gets fouled. Okay, and this is what happened next. Here it is.
Michael Jordan into Grant. Grant on the turn, a dish off to Purdue, and he's fouled going to the hoop. Technical foul. Who's it on?
Got to be Person.
Person
He kicked the ball
into the stands.
He just kicked the ball into the
He's
stands.
been thrown out of the game.
You know what? He's going to kick it again.
He'll miss some games now.
Whoa.
Chuck Person, I'm sure, will miss a few games this week. Bill Oakes, the official, right in his face.
Oh, man. Whoa.
He kicked the ball in the stands twice, obviously showing up the officials. He's not only thrown out of this game, but this is going to cost him big money. Chuck Person had already kicked the ball into the stands. Then it was thrown back out, so he kicks it again.
Well, I'll tell you what, Pele would have been proud of that drive.
Yeah. That's your person for you, right? That's your person for you, right? Kicking the ball into the stands, right? Not only did he do it once, he did it twice. And watching that, I was saying to myself, I just wonder what Phil Jackson and Michael Jordan are thinking, watching Chuck Person melt down like that. I wonder what Jordan's thinking. I wonder what Pippen is thinking. I wonder what Phil Jackson and the Bulls coaching staff is thinking. Too bad they didn't show the angle. Too bad they didn't show the angle where they could catch some of the coaches' reaction to that. But yeah, that was Chuck Person for you. That was Chuck Person for you, right? Okay. So last thing. Could the 1990s Washington Bullets been good? And I ask that all seriousness. Could the 90s Bullets been really good between 1994 and 1996? Okay. So I saw a story by Basketball Network. Okay. Where Jim McIIvaine, who was on those Bullets teams in 1995 and 1996. Okay. He was on that team. He was a rookie in 95, along with Juwan Howard. Okay. And he said, McIIvaine said this. He said, Tony Kornheiser coined the phrase, the curse, and just to have a French twist to it. No matter who is on the roster of this team, and no matter how good the players are on paper, at the beginning of the season, they are all cursed, and injuries will mount. And key positions, they'll never be able to make the playoffs. And it's just the curse of this team, the way it is right now. So that kind of resonated because I thought we had great players at every position. But I think there were more than a few games where we had only 8 healthy guys. Okay. So he must be describing 1994-95 when the Bullets went, I believe they were 22-60. I believe they were either 22-60 or 21-61. Okay. And Chris Webber actually talked about this. Okay. Chris Webber said at the beginning of the season, You got guys doing everything, guys getting the same tattoos, and in the middle of the season, you can just see it. It all starts with guys' shot selection. You all sorts of guys' shot selection. Then you lose one, you lose two. Then the guy takes a 3-point shot in the game that he never should take, and the coach doesn't say nothing. Okay, so yeah, so I went back and looked at that 94-95 roster. Okay. Yeah, so the Bullets actually that season in 1995, they had 8 players averaging double figures in scoring that season. 8 players. But they had Chris Webber, 20.1 points per game, but he only played in 52 games. Okay. Tom Gugliotta, 16 points per game. He was traded 6 games into the season. Juwan Howard, 17 points per game. He played in 65 games. Calvert Chaney, 16.6 points per game. Scott Skiles, 13 points per game. Played in 62 games. Don McIIvaine, 11 points per game. He played in only 39 games. George McIIvaine, 10 points per game. And Rex Chapman, 16.2 points per game, played in only 45 games. Okay. So, yeah. The only guy to play in 82 games that season was Doug Overton. Okay. Doug Overton was the only guy on that roster to play in all 82 games that 94-95 season. Okay. So, for the 1996 season, okay, I remember they brought in Robert Pack and Mark Price. Okay. And they had Brent Price, who was Mark Price's brother, on there. Okay. So they bring in Robert Pack and Mark Price to go along with Juwan Howard, Chris Webber, and George McIIvaine. Okay. But Chris Webber hurt his shoulder, played in only 15 games that year. Robert Pack played in only 31 games that year. And Mark Price, unfortunately, played in only 7 games that year. Okay. Juwan Howard, he was actually an NBA All-Star that year, 22.1 points per game. Webber, 23.7. Pack, 18.1. Chaney, 15.1. Mirasan, the most improved player in the NBA that year, 14.5. Rasheed Wallace, rookie, 10.1. And Brent Price, 10 points per game. Okay. But injuries to Chris Webber, Robert Pack, Mark Price all led up to a 39-43 record and just missing the playoffs. Okay. So yeah, I think the Bullets, the mid-90s Bullets, could have been a force. It's just that it's just unfortunate that injuries got them. Okay. And if injuries didn't hit them, they could have been a real force. Real force. I'm not saying they would have challenged the Knicks, the Heat, or the Bulls. I'm not saying that, but they could have been a force. Okay. A team to be reckoned with. Okay. All right. That's it. And that's all for Throwing It Back with Sean Farrell. I am out of here. And God bless you.